All right. So this session is particularly exciting for me because I know that it's an area that a lot of people struggle with. I struggle with this more times than I can I care to admit because entrepreneurship is a journey. It is a journey of highs and lows, and it really takes you to a position where you literally have to, if you're not in network marketing or you don't have a franchise, it takes you building from scratch. And as my husband and I like to say, we don't build from the ground up, but we truly build from the heavens down because God has already given us all of the resources that we need. We just got to put those resources together and make something great happen. So, whenever I have an opportunity to speak about profiting from your business, it really gives me great joy because I believe that you should be compensated for the work that you put in, and money is absolutely a dignified conversation to have. So, this is something that I want you to really get comfortable with, which is profiting from your passion and know that there's nothing wrong with doing it. You just have to have the right strategies in order to be successful at doing it. So, how many of you have come here today because you are ready to profit from your passion? If you are on mute and if you can't show me your hands, I don't mind. Just click your mute button off and on, off and on. That way I know you're here. And Sandra, I see your beautiful face. So yes, you're ready to profit from your passion. So I do want to take a pulse of the room. So as much as you can, please engage. I wouldn't want it to be a one-way conversation, but if it happens to be like that, hey, it's all right with me. I like ATM, Authors on the Move, because sometimes we have a huge number of people who are watching live and we have a crazy session, and that's always fun. And then sometimes we have really intimate conversations, and so the people who are here, they get a chance to be very intentional and asking as many questions as they can possibly put in because it's an intimate group. So either way, we're going to have fun, and let's get started. Hello, I see somebody just came in the room. Elise, I want to welcome you to our ATM session today. And I'll be sharing my screen. So even though I can't see your faces, I hope that you are able to see my screen with how your camera settings are. Okay, and I'm using Canva. I think I told you guys about this app. You can do great presentations in here too. And you do not have to worry about buying it. You can absolutely use it for free, right? So welcome to our 60-day client challenge. I'm your coach, one of your coaches, Chantel. I want to welcome Valerie as well. And the goal during this challenge is for you to get paying customers into your business. So whether you have a service-based, a products-based business, or whatever your business is, this is going to help you. Because over the next 2 months, we're going to be talking about the 3 C's that will help you to bring in that profit. First C is to collect. How do you get your ideal client in front of your offer so that they can actually be your paying customer eventually? Then we're going to talk about number 2, convert. How do you then convert those people into paying customers? There's a process in doing that. And then the close. Many of you are in business, so you know about the close. The close is when they sign on the dotted line and there is some type of transaction taking place, either a barter or a paid financial transaction. Once again, profiting from your business is a great thing to do. Obviously, you want to be paid for your passion, and money is a very dignified conversation to have. You're exchanging value. You're not taking anything away from anyone. So as long as you're giving value, then you should feel okay about charging for what you have to offer. So who are we? We are authors on the move, and this is a motto that we go by. So every session I will read this motto, and then I'll even ask some of you to read it as well out loud. So in this room is the power to change the world. In me is the power to change the world. If I'm going to change the world, I need a world of change in me. Change comes naturally, but it can also come intentionally. Through the power of goal setting and community, I can achieve anything I put my mind to because everything is possible to the extent I believe it is. I want to dream wide awake as much as I do asleep. And through focused action, we can do it 30 days at a time, 30 days at a time. So let's start with our topic of today, which is our 60-day author challenge. So we all have passion. We have a desire to serve big and play full out. We want people to know that because we lived, we made a difference. We understand that God put us on this earth not to play it safe, but really to play it the way that He designed us to play it. And that is to use everything, every gift, every thought, every good desire that He's given us to make an impact on the world. Many times, though, we tend, Teresa, to live in our passion. And oftentimes we move from passion to passion, but never truly maximizing on that passion in a way that is sustainable. 9 times out of 10, the reason why we're moving from one desire to the next and we're never seeing growth in our businesses is because we don't make a profit from it. Who here, and I just want to take a survey of the room. So those of you whose faces I can't see, you could just unmute your phone and mute it back so I know that you're here. But I want to know from you, who here has a product-based business? You may sell candles or t-shirts or a product, a physical, tangible product, okay? All right, I'm not seeing anyone with a product. Who here has a service-based business, whether it's coaching or speaking? Just raise your hand, okay? And unmute your phone back and forth so I can see you. And if you don't unmute it, then I realize that you probably fit into this category, right? All right, Robin's giving me a thumbs up. Good. Valerie, she's clapping her hands, she gets it. Okay, good. So you all have a service-based business. So many times for service-based businesses, it can be a challenge trying to figure out how do I exchange value or put a value price on the information that I'm giving, the coaching that I'm giving, the speaking that I'm giving. So we'll dive into that. But I want you to know that it is possible. You've seen it before. You've seen multimillionaire speakers. You've seen, huge brands of coaches who speak and coach and do trainings all over the world. So you know it's possible, but I want to make it possible for you. So if we live here in our passion, it's because we don't have some fundamentals in place. We don't have processes in place. So if I were to ask you today, when a client comes into your business and they pay your 6-month coaching mastermind, what is the client journey that they're experiencing? If you can't tell me each month what they're getting, if you can't tell me what their daily interaction with you, their weekly interaction with you is, or with your company is, then chances are you don't have a process. So I want you to understand that you have to have processes in your business so that you, number one, can have a real business. Number two, you can actually duplicate yourself to the point where every time you get a customer in the door, you're not trying to pull out everything in your hat and customize packages because you don't have a process. The reason why McDonald's is so successful, Sandra, is that every time you order an item from menu number 1 through 10, you're going to get the same thing every time. And people keep coming back to McDonald's. They keep buying those products because it's a predictable product that they are receiving. And they can bet their bottom dollar that if they order a Big Mac, it's going to taste the same every time. So what is your process in your business? What is your client's journey in your business? The second thing that many coaches who or authors don't find success with is because they don't have actual products or a package of services. So if you're doing a service-based business, you actually have more to offer than just your voice. You have more to offer than just training videos or a digital course. So you want to understand what is your full product suite within your service-based business. Is it that you offer one-on-one coaching? Do you offer group coaching in the form of a mastermind? Do you offer, customized marketing services or, customized consultations? Whatever it is your specialty. I want to know it in a way that if I were to ask it right now, you will be able to tell me, well, when you work with me, you can get X, Y, and Z. It has to be predictable and it should not be customizable as much as possible. And then number 3 is that passion-based entrepreneurs they don't have prospects. They tend to have a desire to serve everyone, which is great, but your prospects are going to be a few specifically identified group of people that can benefit from the services that you have to offer. So prospects are people who are like coming in, they're actually not even coming into your business yet. They're actually looking at the window dressing and they're seeing the mannequins with, the dresses and the shirts. And they're like, oh, maybe I should check out this store one day. Or maybe I should go in and see their prices, right? Those are prospects, people who are looking at the window dressing, wanting to play with you, but they may be just not ready just yet. Sometimes we don't even have that. Or if we do, we don't know that we have it because we don't have systems in place that will allow us to see, hey, there are people who actually do want to work with me, right? And that is why many times we get burnt out very quickly because we don't have these things. And that leads to panic, right? Especially during a global pandemic, you're wondering, is my business viable? Can I really leave my 9 to 5? Because the way things are looking, I don't have the prospects, I don't have the process, and I'm definitely not making a profit. So maybe I should just hang my passion up on the hanger and move on to something else. Don't do it. There is a way. And over the next 60 days during this challenge, we're going to show you exactly how to do that. And many of you who implement these strategies, Angela, you will get clients. You will get clients when you implement these strategies over a consistent period of time. Now, I'm not guaranteeing any results, but I'm letting you know that these work. In fact, we were able to implement these same strategies and grow our business 300% during a global pandemic. We were voted, actually, we received an award by Keep, which is Infusionsoft for those of you who may not know, but they are a $100 million organization, and they named our company, The Legacy Project, the Bestsellers Academy, as a Small Business of the Year award in 2020 because we were able to implement strategies that grew our business in this way. So I'm sharing this with you because I want you to work your passion, but I do want you to be profitable in it so you will not burn out. So why is it that this is so important? Again, if we don't understand how we're showing up, then we'll never be able to show up for the right people. So there are 2 categories in which many of us show up. We show up either as specialists or as generalists. Now, let me tell you about some characteristics of a generalist. I'll start with generalists. So generalists are people who, I'll use one niche in particular. Somebody tell me what area they're in. Whoever can unmute their mic. Teresa, your mic is unmuted. What area are you in? Uh-oh, I can't hear you. I need to get a smaller bottle, huh?
There you go.
Okay.
Yes, speaking and writing and coaching. I'm an author.
Excellent. And what's your subject matter?
Actually, I'm dealing with the messy middle. Individuals that are coming from trauma and want to express more in their life for profits and passion.
Okay. The messy middle, people who are dealing with trauma in their lives and they want to experience more right. Abundance, more blessings, more healing. Okay, good.
Right.
Excellent. So let's talk about that area of expertise. So a person who's specializing, let's say, in trauma coaching, they would be considered a generalist if these things are true. if they think that their services are for everyone. Um, a generalist is someone who actually says like, hey, everyone can benefit from my product and service, and so therefore I reach out to everyone. A generalist also doesn't know what magazines their client is, their ideal client is reading. A generalist is someone who puts out social media posts and they don't have a particular way to capture who's actually consuming that social media post. A generalist is someone who does motivational quotes on Instagram and puts up pictures, but they're really not specific on what type of pictures they're posting. A generalist is someone who you'll see, if they focus in trauma, for example, they'll be talking about A to Z trauma list, molestation, abuse, and all the ills of trauma, but you never really see them focus on a particular narrative. That's a generalist. A specialist in that area of trauma, on the other hand, when you see their posts on social media, you would see a consistent narrative that they're focused on. They would be speaking consistently on, for a period of time, not saying that they couldn't switch, but they would be focused specifically on a topic of domestic violence. And you, if you go to their social media, you would see them consistently talking about this particular message. A specialist is someone who, if you were to ask them, what are 7 things about your ideal client that you know right now, they will be able to run it off without having to pause. A specialist is someone who, if they are posting in social media, they would actually have a certain aesthetic that speaks directly to their audience. So I like to use this as an example. So if you look at a person who's specializing in talking to doctors, but their specialty in talking to doctors is chiropractors, there are certain graphics that they would use that they know resonate with a chiropractor that would not resonate with a psychologist, right? That's knowing your audience. And as generalists knows their audience, but at any given time, look at these arrows. They could be hitting it and they could be missing it. But a specialist hits it every time because they've spent time looking, researching, understanding, getting in the mind of their client, and therefore they're able to speak to them directly every single time. Is this helpful? This, my friends, is what is going to allow you to profit. When you understand this, now first you're understanding it for yourself, and then you're going to be able to see these examples in the people that you buy from. You're going to be able to see that the reason why you like your coach and you like to hear that speaker is because they've identified ways to specifically talk to you, because they're specializing in talking to Zena. They're specializing in talking to Angela. And this is the secret sauce. This is how you're going to profit, by being a specialist and not a generalist. So I'm sorry for those of you who have, paid thousands of dollars and your coach has told you, yeah, it's okay for you to just focus on single mothers and that is your niche. No, that's not your niche. There's such a specialty within single motherhood that you need to speak to. That would literally turn you from marketing to everyone to marketing to a specific person, and that specific person is going to be your customer. I love it. This is so exciting. So don't take it from me. I want you to do an evaluation of yourself, and let's see how you rank. On a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to rank yourself by answering these questions. I think I went over. Okay. First question on the left. My market is everyone who can benefit from my product. So where do you rank on that? And just write it down and we'll go over your answers in a second. Give yourself a 4, 4 being no, that's not, I strongly disagree with that. Or 1 is strongly disagree. A 10 is I strongly agree with that. Yes, my market is everyone who can benefit from my products. On the other side, next part of this question is my market is a specific group of people. I strongly agree with that. 10 or nah, I don't just I disagree with that. Closer to the 1. Okay. Next question. It's reversed on my screen. I can describe 7 characteristics about my client without hesitation. Do you strongly agree with that? You can describe 7 characteristics about your client without hesitation. On the other side, I don't know a lot about my client. I just know they can benefit from my service. Where do you fall? Are you strongly in agreement with that? Closer to an 8, a 9, or a 10? And I don't want too many, I don't want too many 5s because that's just neutral, right? You don't have a position. All right, good stuff. Next question. I don't feel confident charging for my services. I don't feel confident charging for my services. And on the other side, I'm excited to charge for my services. You rank yourself a 10 or maybe a 7 or maybe a 4. All right, good stuff. So let me, I want to get your responses. Let me see who we have in the building. Stop share. Okay. So get on camera if you can. Those of you who can't, all good. All right, so I'm gonna go down the line of who I see. Sandra, I see you first. Tell me what, oh, I didn't tell you to add up your scores because I want you to tell me what you ranked on each question. So Sandra, what did you rank on question number 1, part 1? Oh, Sandra, I can't hear you.
Sorry. I wasn't writing down numbers. I was writing agree or disagree because I couldn't remember what 1 or 10 was. But
no problem.
For question number 1, it kind of shook me. I put disagree because I thought I knew the answer to that question until what you said prior to us going through these questions. I thought I knew my perfect client, which is caregivers, but I started off wanting to do just caregivers of families who are taking care of someone with a mental illness, but then it broadened out to all caregivers. So now after listening to what you said, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I need to keep it that broad or not.
Good, we'll come to that. Thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm. Teresa?
I'm in agreement with Sandra. I wrote a 9 because I've been working on my SNAP, and in my mind, in my SNAP, I'm saying, well, I need to, since I'm on social media, I need to have that funnel effect. Just take everyone and then, sift through them. So I'm not sure at this point.
You want to work hard, Teresa? Don't work hard. Let's sift them out from the front end.
I'm overthinking it, I guess.
Good stuff. Well, thanks for your feedback. Angela, you're up next.
So what was the question to number 1?
Yeah, so the question is, where did you rank? And you can share any of those questions. I don't know if you want me to share my screen. Well, no, I won't share, but I'll read the question to you. The first question was, on a scale of 1 to 10, now give me 1 second, let me pull it up. You know how you have all those windows open and then you close and you're like, what happened to my window? Okay. On a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rank yourself? My market is everyone who can benefit from my product, or my market is a specific group of people who can benefit from my products.
Yeah, my market is not general specific.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So you scored
Probably like a 9 on specific
excellent.
and a 3 for general.
Okay, okay, good. Zena, you're up next.
Thank you for sending the information. I would have missed out. So where the market questions are concerned, the general market, I rank myself a 3, and specific market, I rank myself a 7.
Okay. Good, good, good. So you've had some work. You've done some work. And I like that because, you know, all of what you've learned, I always say there's no such thing as wasted knowledge or wasted training that you've done. And many of us have bought a lot of digital courses and training. All of that, I promise you, is building to your success. It's like building blocks. I look at things that I learned 7 years ago when I first started out, like just doing PR. And I'm like, wow, these are the same strategies I spent thousands of dollars to learn in school with. And this is the very same thing I need to do to increase my profile, you know, as a speaker. Nothing is wasted, right? So good, I'm glad you have that foundational knowledge and you rank pretty high. So let's talk about it. The reason why these questions are either very confirming or very jarring, like Teresa and Sandra both boldly expressed, is because it really puts you in front of the mirror. It lets you know that the people that get paid are the people who are very specific, especially in this market. Like we can't afford to just laissez-faire and say, oh, I'm gonna help everyone and save the world. We gotta be very specific. So I'm gonna help you do that. Because it's only when we are very specific then we can actually market effectively. Because I want you to be so on fire during the 60-day challenge, Valerie, that at the end of it, you're willing to put your money where your mouth is, meaning you're willing to say, okay, I am going to commit $300 a month to Facebook ads so that my ideal client can know that I'm here. Everyone tells you to market for free. I'm telling you, invest, do some advertisements, right? But you're not there yet. If I were to say do that now, then that would be derelict in my duty because you're not there yet. And trust me, I'm not telling you anything that I have not done for myself. The reason why you see a lot of businesses succeeding from people of different backgrounds, and you see their advertisements all the time is because they have this down. They have mastered who they're speaking to, so it's not wasted marketing dollars, okay? If you market to everyone, you're marketing to no one. So here's help is on the way. So today we are going to get very specific about who we're targeting, and we're going to use our avatar analyzer, okay? The avatar analyzer has helped our clients understand who they're speaking to so that when they do advertise and they are interested in hiring a VA to support them in their social media, they don't waste money because their ideal client is always raising their hand and saying, yes, you're speaking to me. That was for me, okay? So I just put it in the chat. And for those of you who are watching the replay, you can go to thebestsellersacademy.com/avatar analyzer, and you can just copy and paste this on a Word document and be able to fill it out yourself. So the avatar analyzer or the avatar represents your ideal client. Some people don't like using avatar, but avatar is just what the industry uses, so we'll use it. In order to attract your ideal client, we must first know a few things about them, answer all of these questions so that you can use tools like Facebook for research, for example, and to market. Each question is unique on the surface. They may seem similar, but it requires you to answer it in order to make the most of this analyzer. So the first set of questions are your demographic questions. Where does your ideal client live? What is their monthly income? What's their age, gender, and race? Who wants to answer these questions on the spot. Because this is for you. So the more you participate, the more you let us do laser coaching on you, the better you're off, and you don't have to do your homework by yourself when you go home. All right, so who's up?
I'll go. It's Valerie.
Oh, great. Hi, Valerie.
How are you? You just have to repeat the questions to me again.
Okay, and I can also share my screen too. You don't have to see
Yeah, that'd be great.
you don't have to see my pretty face today. No. I told everyone I was looking like a mad scientist, like my hair was sticking up and my glasses. I'm like, yes, we're gonna have some breakthroughs today.
You look great.
Good stuff. All right, so can you see my question?
can.
On the screen? Okay, good.
Yes. So where does my client live? Oh,
Yes. Can you see? Oh, sorry, I did the wrong share. 1 second. Okay, good.
okay. Where does my client live in the United States? What is their monthly income? That's a good question that I don't know. What is their age? Anywhere between 35 and 55. What is their gender? Could be male or female. What is their race? The human race.
Okay. Would you, Valerie, be willing? I know it's scary. Would you be willing to find out what their gender is and just choose one?
Yes.
Would
Female.
you be willing to
Female.
identify one race?
Female, Black.
Excellent. And then we'll get to their monthly income. What's their monthly income?
Anywhere north of $30,000.
Okay, okay. Tell us, before we continue, what is your product or service?
Coaching,
What kind of coaching?
one-on-one and group.
What topic?
Leadership
Okay.
and executive coaching.
Leadership and executive coaching. Excellent. So not only are you going to be very specific about your avatar, but when we talk about your product suite, which we'll talk about next time we meet. But before that, you guys can think about it too. What specifically is my specialty within coaching, within leadership, right? Because there are different things that you can focus on in leadership. So, and I want you to notice something. If you've come to the last couple of trainings with Authors on the Move, you'll notice this theme reoccurring, which is, what is your angle? When we talked about pitching media, we wanted you to identify all of the topics that you can focus on, right? Graduate from that. When you're talking about your services, be very specific about that service that you offer. So for example, leadership, do you focus on helping Black women between the age who are 30 to 55 years old, 35 to 55 years old, get corporate placements on boards? That's leadership, right? Do you focus on X, Y, and Z? So you want to be very specific, because then you know which conferences to pitch yourself for. Then you know what magazines and newspapers you should be pitching journalists to. But leadership, that can get you very tired very quickly, because you'll feel like, oh, nothing's working. I'm trying everything, but nothing's working. But when you stay in your lane, you'll definitely see results. All right, thank you so much, Valerie. Was that helpful?
Yes, it was. And Chantel, I'm going to apologize because I may have to drop in about 5 minutes.
That's okay. We're
because I actually have
it.
a coaching session at the top of the hour.
Hey, bring it in. Awesome.
And it is a leadership development coaching for someone who's moving into their own as a leader in their organization. It's like their second managerial leadership role. So it's about getting them more prepared for even a senior role.
Excellent. I love it. See, she's a student of the work. And look, they're going to want to stay, because the best clients to get are the ones that you already have. So when you are even more specific about the next level of your product suite, then you have something to offer once you close them on this particular package, then you're like, oh, by the way, in my leadership package, I know that you'll probably face, I don't know, gender discrimination during your work. I have a particular mini course designed to help you overcome that. Oh, by the way, you'll probably need to negotiate your salary along the lines. X, Y, and Z. I have a 20-minute consultation package, right? So you see the number of branches on your tree that you can build, but don't make your tree so big. We're gonna give you, you're gonna design a specific product suite that you can go the next 5 years specifically focusing on. So thank you, Valerie, for volunteering.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So I'll take another volunteer to do our psychographic questions. Who's up? Zena? Okay. Tell us the area that you focus on.
I focus on empowerment coaching and avoiding limiting beliefs.
Okay. And what particular belief or beliefs are you helping your clients avoid?
So I help women navigate the minefield of limiting beliefs in various areas of work-life balance and step into their purpose.
Okay. Are you open to getting even more specific about that? Awesome. Because
Absolutely.
in limiting beliefs, there are many limiting beliefs. Hello, Robin. Welcome. It's so good to see you. Yeah. So within limiting beliefs, I know the amount of limiting beliefs I face on a daily basis. So think about maybe focusing on 3 or 4 limiting beliefs when it comes to fear, not feeling good enough, low self-esteem, for example. And then even within your category of, you mentioned, is it work-life balance?
Yeah, the most of what my clients deal with is the fear of releasing stability and stepping out in their passion because they don't believe their passions will pay them. And so that fear shows up in various ways, even though the market is specific. It's corporate women. It's corporate women that have a heart passion in life that they won't pursue. They think they will only be able to do it as a hobby, that they could never build a business around it. And so, but they never have time for it because they're working corporate America. And so that's the bigger picture. And my clients they come with an array of issues ranging from clutter to overcoming past trauma to managing recovery from drugs and alcohol. But it always shows up in fear. It shows up in fear. And so that's like the common complaint. But that fear is just the cloak that they wear over a hurt that they think it's like a dream deferred they can never reach. Because in order to reach, they have to release what is stable, and they don't want to. But it nags them at night, at day. They're angry at work. They're irritated. They're frustrated. Their kids, they're concerned about their kids understanding that they don't have to pigeonhole or box themselves in because they can't be the example of how to go after their dreams because they don't go after their own dreams. So it's a lot.
Excellent. So you thought about it. It sounds like your avatar has kept you up at night because you really care about who this person is. And that is a great example, everyone, of when you know this person, even give her a name, right? One of my clients, she calls her avatar Pearl. Pearl. And she said the reason why I named her Pearl, Chantal, is because a pearl represents something that is guarded. It's, it has a hard exterior, but when you open it up, clean it up, then you see the beauty of it. And that's why she's called Pearl, because she's been hiding her gifts. She's been hiding her potential because she's really fearful, amongst other things. So give your avatar a name so that she can be the person that makes you want to get up at night to send out that proposal. She makes you want to do the things that make you uncomfortable and that you don't really feel like doing all the time because you have identified her and you know her like the back of your hand. You know her like a friend. So these avatar questions, Robin, are going to help you to identify her. So let's talk about your pearl. What have you given her a name yet, Zena?
Call her Anastasia. And she's a Black woman, and you don't find many Black Anastasias, but that's what makes her the unique unicorn that she is. Her name is Anastasia. You know, her friends call her Stace, you know.
I love it. And she's become a friend to you. And so tell us what's holding, well, you mentioned what's holding Anastasia back. What are some things that she's thinking about?
She's thinking about having the freedom to build her day, each day, around what she is called to do each day. And she doesn't have that kind of freedom because she's locked in the structure of corporate America. Like she can see being able to go after her passion and that being fulfilling for her. But and in corporate America, although financially she's successful and it pays her bills and allows her financially the ability to do her passion, she doesn't have the time nor the energy because her corporate job takes everything available: time, energy, willingness, space. You know, she has to plan for a 2-week vacation when she wants to grab her kids and travel for 30 days. It's those kind of things that she wakes up with every day.
Excellent, excellent. So here's what I love about this exercise. I don't know if you all are seeing it, but you get to be almost a psychologist in the mind of this person that you are called to serve. And as her therapist, as her psychologist, understanding her the way you understand yourself, there's no question that when you post on social, when you take out those advertisements on Facebook or Instagram, there's no question that she or he will know that you're speaking to them. Because in your posting, you will have the answers to you'll ask these questions, for example. You'll actually answer them and ask them, what's holding you back, Stacey? Are you fearful that if you were to throw your corporate job away, that your security net would no longer exist? The truth is that the greatest security that you have is choosing your own life. The greatest security that you have is knowing that you'll be there for your child to watch them grow. It's time to launch into entrepreneurship. There's your advertisement, right? If that was the CTA you were leading her to, which was, it's time to launch into entrepreneurship. Download your free 21-day guide on how to move from corporate and launch into your own business. Click the link below. I'm Stacey, right? If Stacey's reading that, she's gonna be like, Zena, you're talking to me. Let me go download this guide right now because I know that she gets me. And I know that she'll deliver on her promise because she just told me what I'm afraid of. She told me what my desires are, right? That is how you move from being a generalist to a specialist. So earlier, Robin, and others of you who are joining us, we went over the difference between being a generalist and a specialist. We also we asked ourselves 3 questions that allowed us to understand where we fall on the spectrum of being a generalist or a specialist. And we understand now that the people who get paid are the people who specialize. And many times you've gone to coaching sessions and conferences and you may have heard that just market to everyone. But really and truly, the reason why you love your coach, the reason why you love your trainer is because somewhere along the line, they started speaking your language, right? It's almost being in church and being a person in church and you're like, wow, that was for me. I came for that word because the pastor, through the help of the Holy Spirit, he's understanding what he's going to say because he's already done the study and already had a deposit from God to know what he should say to the people to let them know, I see you, to let them know this is the sermon that you were supposed to hear. That's the same thing we have to do when it comes to being intentional about communicating with our avatar, is we have to let them know that we see them. The only way we can do that and be successful in converting them to a client is by being consistent in that message. We can only be inconsistent in that message if we know who they are. So we did a fun exercise today, and I want you to watch the replay and go ahead and do that too, so that you can really learn these strategies and implement them as we go on our 60-day client challenge to move you actually to get paid clients. So this is fun stuff. I want to go ahead and take 3 of your biggest takeaways. I'll ask three people, what are your biggest takeaways? I already got some in the chat. Valerie, she's like, thank you for today's session. You are welcome, Valerie. I know you had to leave and go do your coaching, so thank you for showing up. So go ahead, who wants to share? Hello, Sipo, welcome. You're connecting your audio, so you probably can't hear me. Oh, there you are.
Question.
Yes, who has a question?
I have a question.
Sandra, yes.
Yeah, I have a question. So when going back to, so I just want to know your opinion, or anyone else on here who has input. Is a family caregiver of a chronic illness too broad versus a family caregiver of someone with a mental illness?
Oh, sorry, say the question again.
So I'm just thinking about my perfect client here. I've been dealing with family caregivers in general, family caregivers who are taking care of someone with a chronic illness. So the illness could be anything, versus when I started off, it was just family caregivers of someone with a mental illness.
Right. So how you started off is actually pretty great because it's specific.
It's
right?
specific.
It's very specific. So I would say go back. Why did you switch? I'm just curious.
Well, on Instagram, just people started following me from, I get, because in some sense, a caregiver, they have the same challenges regardless of the illness that the family member has. And so people just started reaching out to me who were caregivers of all kinds of stuff. But, you know, the mental illness is more specific than any chronic illness. So the caregiver has a, you know, caregiver, you could be taking care of someone with a mental illness or someone with dementia. The caregiver themselves have this pretty much the same challenges. But I guess there are different challenges depending on the illness. Now that it's just since we've been talking, I'm just like thinking about it now. So now I'm not sure.
Absolutely. And you have enough content in that area of dealing with caregivers who take care of people with mental illness. You have more than enough content to be able to share. And that's why journalists are going to want to talk to you, because you focus on a niche. There are many people who coach on helping caregivers, but you focus on a particular niche that maybe they didn't even know existed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so I don't know, Angela, do you want to share any thoughts on that? In terms of if you were to see a post from Sandra or an email or an advertisement, and she just spoke to caregivers versus caregivers with a mental illness, which one would resonate with you more? Not caregivers with a mental illness, but who take care of people with mental illnesses.
The one taking care with mental illnesses, because that leads me, then I know exactly where she's focusing it.
Excellent. Yeah. So, you know, that is something that you want to know, that your client is out there. You just got to talk their language, right? And the reason why I shared with, I asked Angela to contribute is because she, and I hope you don't mind, she just shared a very incredible documentary with me. Angela, could you get the link real quick and put it in the chat?
The link
I know I just put you on the spot. The link for your documentary.
Oh, okay.
If you're able to. I know it's, I just put you on the spot. But Angela has a really incredible documentary about her story. I won't go into it. If she's able to share it with you, then great. But she was someone who needed a caregiver for a family member who had a mental illness. So if she just saw your post, Sandra, that said, hey, I'm here to support caregivers, she probably wouldn't have clicked on it. But if she heard you say caregivers who are taking care of someone with a mental illness, she most likely, like she said, would have raised her hand and said, hey, I need your help, right? So that's how you have to understand. You have to be so confident once you do your avatar analyzer, you'll know my client is out there. I just have to speak to them. Yes, yes.
Thank you.
Nice. You're welcome. All right. Hello, Katrina. I'm going to send you the replay. My sister, Katrina, I'm glad you were able to join us so that you will be able to see all of what we unpacked today. So I'll take one more, either question or tell me what was one of your major wins for this session. Yes, Robin.
One of my major wins was knowing my avatar, knowing my specific target market.
Yes, yes, excellent. When you know them, they go like, let me tell you, they're gonna want to give you their money because you're serving them. So y'all, Angela just shared her documentary and I want you all to watch it. But when you watch it, make sure that you are in a safe and stable place because it is very emotionally riveting, but it's also inspiring. Like Angela, I don't know if I stayed up like 2 hours later than I was supposed to because I was on fire. I was like, oh my gosh, Lord, my purpose, tell me, like, I was just asking for so many deposits on like, because I'm like, this is such a gift for you to be here and for us to be assigned together for this particular point in life. That I'm like, okay, God, you must see something in me that you want me to be of support in some way to Angela. So Lord, allow my gifts to help her and support her. So that's my caution to you. When you watch this video, understand that your purpose will be ignited in a way that you probably haven't felt it before. That's all I'll say. So thank you all. And I really celebrate you for being a part of this experience. Our Authors on the Move Mastermind. Remember, in here is the power to change the world. And once we come together and we are willing to show up, then we can not only change our lives, but change everyone else's life as a result. All right, so we will see you next time. You have the coaching schedule, same place, same time, as we unpack the 3 C's that will lead to your next paying customer. We're talking about collecting their information, converting them, and then closing them. In order to do those C's, we laid the foundation, which is knowing who we're speaking to, okay? So do your homework, use the avatar analyzer. The link is in the chat. I'll repost it again, or you can just go to bestsellersacademy.com/avatar analyzer to download that. And next week, we are going to talk about how you then, knowing your avatar, how now do you go and collect their information so that they can become in your ecosystem and you'll be able to have a conversation with them. So make sure you show up for yourself in that way. And I will see you next time. Y'all have a great, great afternoon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a great week.